turn to chapter 9. I call it Oberkommando the Heeres. It's actually the High Command, the Army High Command. And this chapter, alright, if you check in that section on critical success factors, is after resources for strategy. From here down, another 2 chapters. The next one will be esprit de corps and the troops. This will be the one that focuses on command and how the strategy processes within the command structure. In planning, there's always the climate in which the planning takes place. Is online climate a good one, or is the climate very rough, unfriendly, and is fear-inspiring? And my argument really, of course, is that I will take the German model. I'm familiar with German management, and of course you find that I was a project manager for Klockner, Industrial Anlagen, way back in the 1980s. So I know German corporate strategy through experience. And I was then in Duisburg, and I experienced headquarters management.
And that was a period before the Berlin Wall comes down.
Now what is interesting is the German High Command. If you study Second World War II, you'll find that the Germans' planning is, you can't really find fault with them. And of course my focus really is to argue that the climate in which was generated by Hitler with the generals must have been a rather favorable one, so that they could generate good strategic planning. So online climate, I think, is very important. Now let me put to you, you find that the whole military apparatus, including the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force, report to Adolf Hitler. And Oberkommando, this Heeres, is actually within the Army structure. Now, what are the top roles that contribute to positive organization climate for planning? Number 1, very important, the tapping of managerial experiences. And then number 2, that they are regarded as facilitators, people who facilitate the strategic planning processes.
You may say that it is the facilitation of managers to share their experiences by the planners that will really contribute to good organizational climate.
And here is where we become a bit more, refined, and we look at the dynamics of strategic plan meeting. And of course in most companies these are never reviewed to the outside world, but we can from our research we found actually some very interesting insight that
it is very hard to get a recording or a documentation of corporate planning processes within companies. But I have conducted a course, and I have a course on meeting strategy that is related to the 1C conference, which may interest you, that actually from the dynamics of the meeting you can see there are clear-cut strategy being implemented in a meeting by the Germans. Watch this movie if you can, and also the German version of it.
It is very important for the management, the senior management, to think of planners really as facilitators and not one who talk too much. Planners are there to facilitate the planning process by managers, senior management. They should not be talking too much. If they dominate the meeting, then you will not have a good strategic planning process ongoing.
If the planners talk too much, then I don't think the planning process will be successful.
And interestingly, you'll find that the positive attributes of organizational planning, right, are all related to the full facets of strategic planning process. Once you have a good organizational climate, they're all interrelated. And this pattern you will see in the slide that I will show you right in this video.
You will find that when planners generate a positive climate, then greater range of facets in strategic planning process is being implemented.
And you'll find that the moment that planners do their role as facilitator as well as parameter setter, planners set the parameters for planning to take place, then you find the planning process becomes by itself highly analytical, systematic, regular, as well as formal. Then you find that its most important evidence is that organic climate contribute to positive benefits for the company. Now I pose you a question. Okay, there again, of course, you find that sometimes in some companies that there's been a lot of rivalry, right? That sometimes maybe it's better to let the boss set all the goals and targets and to plan a strategy, rather than to involve the senior management. Now what happens? But why is there too much rivalry, experienced by company in strategic planning? That happens because, number one, there's a lack of tapping of the experiences of the manager. The manager felt being left out, that they are not brought into it, and their experience are not being utilized by the company. Then number two, right, planners did not play the key role of acting as facilitators.
You note the negative correlations.
And you find, I'll give a very good classic example, and I'll show you that, right? In the video you could see that Berlin, right, when the Battle of Britain especially, that it was very well faced out, very well thought out by the Germans in phases. And that must come from a positive organizational climate during the planning process.
You should be able to find a video on YouTube on the Battle of Britain, the planning by the Germans in attacking Britain.
Next, we are coming to the home assignment. Now, bear in mind, home assignment is not just assignment, but really a process whereby to enable you to formulate a process whereby the organizational strategy gets transformed to be more like a Sun Tzu business war crowd. Don't forget, we're looking at Sun Tzu business art of war, and the important thing is that it is an art of war, and drawing from the experiences of the military for effective planning in the business sector.
The intention of the book is so that you based on research, you can then use the findings to help to transform your business towards Sun Tzu business war crowd.
What do I have for you? Have a look at this chart. Right, this chart really addresses what I felt is fundamental in strategic planning, and that how senior management orientation are related to planning as a whole. Right, have a look at it and give me your comments. Thank you.